Special offer, Nihari or Paya with 1 naan or roti only £6. Special lunchtime offer from noon to 4 p.m. Chicken or lamb curry and 2 roti only £6. Mixed veg curry or tarka dal and 2 roti only £5. Order now at desirestaurantonline.com and pay online safely or call us on 01733 555 795. Delivery available or you can collect for a 10% discount. 298 Lincoln Road, Peterborough, PE1 2ND. Desi Restaurant, the trusted family favourite in Peterborough.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम किरण है। कोर्ट कश्मीर ऑर्फन रिलीफ ट्रस्ट मेरा घर है। कोर्ट सिर्फ मेरा ही नहीं बल्कि मुझ जैसे सैकड़ों यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों का घर है। हम तमाम बच्चे अपने इस प्यारे घर में हंसी खुशी रहते हैं और तालीम भी हासिल करते हैं। हमारी तमाम जरूरियात जिंदगी को कोर्ट ही पूरा करता है और ये सब कुछ आपकी मदद से मुमकिन है। आपसे गुजारिश है कि अपने एहतियात, ज़कात और ज़कात कोर्ट में मौजूद यतीम बच्चों को देकर इनकी कफालत में हिस्सेदार बने। कोर्ट यूके ऑफिस 0300123774 court.org.uk।
Bowel cancer screening saves lives. The NHS sends everyone aged 60 to 74 a free home testing kit every 2 years. Using this test is easy and hygienic. Ask your parents and grandparents whether they have completed their screening kit. Find out more by visiting Cambridgeshire and Peterborough ccg.nhs.uk and searching bowel cancer.
In the heart of Cambridgeshire, this is Salaam Radio.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Salaam Sports on Salaam Radio with me, Sadat Akram, and my faithful, loyal host, co-host. I'm going to give you a promotion there, Arif Aziz. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sadat. How you doing? You're right.
Good. Just me and you today. No Imtiaz.
Just the two of us today, huh?
Yeah, just the two of us.
Oh.
Just the two of us. You know, what are we doing here? Let's be honest. England game on. Why are we not watching it?
Is it worth watching?
Yeah, England. Of
Really?
course it is. Image thought so. He decided not to go.
Yeah. Well, we had to give him a day off.
Okay, let me tick a few boxes. Where you can comment on us live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Call 01733602133 or text on 07411191062, and we're also live on Inspire FM. Salam to you, those listeners in Luton. Right, what have we got for us today on the show in this wonderful weather? Oh, it's lovely outside.
It's beautiful weather, yeah.
nice
Just
inside,
I've got a
got the air
barbecue
conditioning.
arranged for 4 o'clock, so
Have you? I'll be
straight
round.
away I'm going to be running off and doing that.
Brilliant. Was it just the family or you invited me?
Yeah, no, just unfortunately, just a family, mate. No invitations today, especially
Brilliant.
used to that.
Brilliant. Okay, I've put as people, listeners or viewers will know on Facebook, a question. I don't want you to answer it yet. We'll come back to it, but I want to know the poll for today is knee or no knee. Should we be taking the knee or should we not be taking the knee? I'm talking about the football, obviously, in the Euros 2020. But we'll come back to that. We'll start off with, as per usual, England cricket.
Yeah, a bit disappointing, wasn't it? There were expectations that England were going to win 2-0, and they've come back with a 1-0 loss. And the mannerism of their loss has got a lot to say about how they played.
Yeah, I mean, even the first, when we were on the air last time with the first test
Yeah.
match, we were saying how New Zealand declared to give England, say, a chance or give themselves a chance so England would go for it or not crystal
I
bust.
think they should have actually gone for that.
They should have,
They
wouldn't they? We
should
were
have
saying
gone
it.
for that.
Yeah, they
They
didn't.
had plenty of overs to try to bat through, and even if they batted at 4 and over, they would have got the total quite easily.
Yeah, I think they missed a trick there. And so it would be fair to say New Zealand dominated both test matches, because if there was any winner in that first test match, it would have been New Zealand, who had control of it.
They had more of the sessions where they played better cricket. Yeah, so definitely.
So why did England, I mean, I know there's a few players missing. Jeffrey Archer is injured at the moment, but at the same time, New Zealand got players at the IPL, so they're not at full strength. But why? What did England do wrong? I mean, they didn't have a spinner.
They didn't take Moeen Ali, they didn't take Rashid, and sometimes you've got to question England's attitude towards taking such players. And, I think Moeen Ali has definitely been unfairly treated, I think, with England. And
yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, but he's an all-rounder. He's the spinner and he bats as well. So he would have given that extra. I think it was New Zealand's spinner Patel who got 4 to 5 wickets, maybe, which is, could be the difference at the end of the day. Because New Zealand, yes, they bowled them out, but eventually. But I think I don't know how much the lead was, about 50, 80 lead, 100 lead. I'm not sure, but obviously they collapsed in batting.
Yeah.
And
which was quite surprising.
Yeah, one thing you think England are good at, their strength in depth is their batting.
I think it's going to be a tough summer for England, because I think, is it India's coming here as well? Are they?
Yeah, India, Pakistan. Yeah. Is it Sri Lanka? I think
India are going to play the Test matches, though.
India will be their Test match. So the other, I think, Sri Lanka and Pakistan are the 2020s one-dayers.
Yeah,
and then India will be here, I believe, for a 5-test series. And then England travel to Pakistan for maybe a few more one-dayers and a test match. I'm not sure if there's actually a test match even in Pakistan. I think it's probably just the one-dayers as well. Yeah. But definitely missed a trick on Moeen Ali. And I'm going to touch also on Ollie Robinson, who I know we talked about this last week with his tweets and stuff. But obviously they made the decision, as we were discussing, that this is what was possibly going to happen. They banned him pending investigation. I don't understand what further investigations they're going to do. And allegedly there's one more player that they're investigating. They've not named the player.
I think there were a couple of tweets from a 16-year-old, when he was 16-year-old, and I think...
Yeah, no, Ollie. Are we talking about Ollie Robinson?
No, we're talking about...
somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about
the other person
another
that they're
player.
investigating. Okay.
Look, don't get me... I'm not going to, say I'm 100% certain, but they reckon it was Anderson.
Allegedly Anderson.
But look, we don't know. At 16-year-old, I think...
That's going on.
That shouldn't have been taken into context.
Mid-30s, now,
Yeah, he's mid-30s. Yeah.
Well, I mean...
But what's your opinion on the Prime Minister of England getting involved in this?
Well, yeah, it was funny. Yeah, there was I took a... what you call it, a shot of an MP saying something to this as well. If I can find it on my phone on you, I thought I'll forget it by the time I come on the show. But yeah, he's been involved. The MPs have been involved. I mean, yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand why they're getting involved. I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
this,
exactly the same as yourself. I don't agree with them getting involved with such a decision where it's gonna backfire on them. That's what my opinion is. I think if you've said racist tweets, even if you're 19 years of age, you know what you're doing. And like Hussein said that, look, they should have done a bit of research and checked it out prior to giving him an England cap. In saying that, he's played pretty well though, hasn't he?
He played well for the first. I mean, did they miss him in the second? I still think they missed a trick with the spinner, but maybe they missed him for the second test match. But we'll see what happens from this investigation. I mean, if let's say they've done their full investigations, these revelations that have been already been discovered about his tweets when he was 16 or 17 or 18 or whatever age he was at, that is the end of it. Do they let him back in and say, okay, that's all he's done? Or do they investigate, say, well, what has he done to educate himself, shall we say?
We had this discussion last week,
and
I think we were and agreed that, look, he was 18, 19 when he said those, so he's not he's an adult.
Yes,
He's been a professional sportsman as well. You know what sort of things can happen, especially when you start to say the wrong things on air or in social media. So look, we'll have to wait and see how that turns or how that pans out. I think there should be some sort of punishment for him.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what happens. We'll follow that closely as it goes along. Let's move away from cricket, and I believe I've got a caller on air, haven't I? Look at this. I now have to remember what to do. I see this button. It says phone. Let's push that up. Hello. Do I have a caller online? Can you hear me?
You do, yeah. It's Imtiaz Ali. Can you hear me?
Oh, Imtiaz. Hello, welcome to Salaam Sports. You are live on air. Please do not swear.
I will not be swearing. I won't be swearing. Hey, listen, I started calling because obviously you're the sports show, right?
Yes,
And,
we are.
Anything that happens in sports has to be shared on the sports show.
Of course, we've got to share everything.
Yeah.
So what have you got to share, Mitch?
Well, I wanted to share something. I shared something on the group, which obviously you're not privy to, but Arif is on it, and Arif knows all about this.
Oh, another group that I'm not privy to. What's going on here?
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit of an amateur golfer, right?
I've heard stories.
definitely.
I've heard rumours. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been playing for about 20 years.
Wow.
I play off a handicap of 18, which is it's okay. It's not too bad.
Handicap of
but
18.
That means like over a full course
Don't know what that means.
of golf, you need 18 shots more than normal.
Oh,
to get
right. So
around.
if a full golf it says like standard, you should do this in 20
that's
shots.
still
you
not
take
bad,
38.
considering, is it? 18 shots behind a professional. Is that?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. No, not behind a professional. Sorry.
No, it's just that
Professionals
course.
Professionals have
Oh.
negative handicaps, like they have like minus something, whatever.
Yeah, we're talking about the course then, aren't we?
Yeah. So, but the reason I'm calling is the whole.
Oh, the reason he's calling and then all of a sudden his line went unclear. Sorry, say that again, please, Image. The reason you're calling... yeah.
Because I got my first ever hole-in-one on Friday.
Congratulations,
Wow.
Absolutely buzzing about that.
Yeah.
I was playing Elton Firs. I don't know if you guys know where Elton Firs is, but it's in
Yeah,
Elton.
definitely know where it is.
South Peterborough. And playing on the fifth hole there, so par 3, 135 yards, took an 8-iron, nice and smooth, all over the hole. Didn't actually see it going in. It was close. And then it's like I walked up 120, 130 yards later, and I see the ball in the hole. So I was like...
Were you looking for your ball and say, where is it? Where is it?
I was yeah. So, I thought it might have bounced off and gone into the rough or something, or off the side of a ditch or something like that. And I couldn't see it. And then all of a sudden, there's this white round thing in the hole. And I was like, no way.
Wow, smashed it.
No way. So I made a little video.
Oh, you got evidence?
No. I made a video of my reaction rather than a video of my swing. So yeah. Well, listen, I thought I'd share that with you. I've got to shoot because, as you know, I'm away on a mini excursion with the family.
Yeah. What's the score? What's the update on the score? Do you know? Are you listening to the football?
It was 0-0 last time we checked. What time? It's still 0-0, I think it is. So yeah, just going into the second half now.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for sharing that.
I think we'll discuss the hole in one once you're back on the show, because I think it's important we do discuss it, and it must have been a special moment.
I wouldn't say it's
for
important.
yourself.
I wouldn't say it's
Very,
important.
very special moment. Very special moment.
Do you know what the question I wanted to ask you is, you got the hole in one. What would that be in football terms or in other sports?
No, it's a once in a lifetime. It's a once in a
lifetime.
Perfect
Right,
hat
there you
trick
go.
at a cup final,
I've been,
World Cup final.
yeah, I've been playing 20 years and I've got the first ever one.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Amazing. Well done. Can I ask you a quick question before you go? Sorry, Image. I'll put the poll on there. Knee or no knee? And we're talking about the Euros 2020, obviously, and the players.
Knee, always knee, at the very minimum knee, of course.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Magic.
All right, cool.
Okay, enjoy your time. Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
That was Image.
So he's done hole in one. Absolutely smashed it. I think also it must have been an awesome feeling to get that. Especially him.
to
He's
get
he's
anywhere
a
near
budding cricketer.
Yeah, I'll get anywhere near that hole. I'll be quite happy. He did actually when at the end of the show last week when he was going to play a round of golf. As he went to pick up his golf clubs, I had a bit of a swing outside his house. He's got that obviously net you've seen, and I had a few good shots, and I thought, yeah, I could do this.
I think you could get used to it because it's your type of sport.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to move as much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be perfect for somebody like yourself. And I tell you what, it does give you fitness because you're walking around for 18 holes. You're probably going to end up doing 10 miles. Walking the course, so yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, plus I was great at I don't know if you ever played Icky Dunda.
Yeah, I used to play Lakpanna. Is that the same thing?
No, that was the 7 stones in it, and then hit the ball with the.
No, that was the stone in it. Sorry, was that the ball you'd have to?
You have to try and break the stones,
Yeah.
and then run,
And then-
before the other team whack you with the ball.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
you have to try and build the stones, pile it up again, and build it
What's
up again.
Icky Dunda then?
Icky Dunda is you have a stick and then another small little stick which has got little curved edge. You hit it down as the stick hits up, and you whack it, and you got to see go further away, and then get hit by a ball after that.
Well, you get hit. You get.
I
hit
think
by-
yeah. I can't go. I can't remember the whole rules. But if anyone's watching, whoever's played Icky, Sterling just scored.
Cammy's just let us know Sterling has just scored.
1-0 to England.
Love to hear how England are playing, Cammy.
Yeah, I mean,
your
England
opinion
have
on that.
never won their opening match, I believe, in a tournament. At the same time, they've never lost a game at Wembley in a major tournament, except for obviously the penalty shootout in Euro '96. So in the 90 minutes, they've never lost a game.
I wasn't really. I mean, I watched the first 45 minutes of it or part of it.
Yep.
The first 20 minutes they played pretty well. The last 25 minutes, I think Croatia got back into the game and started playing a little bit more football.
They did.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that more football in a minute. But let's move on. We've done cricket. Another shout out I want to do quickly as well is it's a Women's Cricket Month.
Yeah.
So big shout out for promoting for women cricket. City Cricket doing that with Fridays. They do girls cricket.
Yeah,
At
excellent.
Fullbridge Road.
Yeah.
Between 6 to 7:30. So anybody interested, join in.
So what age group are we talking about?
Girls are all girls, and then younger lads are also on the Friday. But at this particular moment, I just want to promote the girls, I suppose, because it is the Women Cricket Month. So yeah, any age group girls come over and play.
And I've heard that you boys have got plenty of girls who
Yes, we
who are
had
involved in cricket.
obviously since lockdown we had quite a lot when it was indoor. This is our first outdoor event of the cricket training. Obviously great weather for it. Last week unfortunately it wasn't, but then all of a sudden the weather's been great and hopefully it stays great. And there was I believe 12 girls, which is a great turnout for a first session, and hopefully with word of mouth and more promoting advertising should be up there with the numbers.
Excellent.
Cool. So Cammy has gone on to say good first 20 minutes, then faded, started second half like the first. Oh, okay, so it's in the second half, obviously.
Sterling.
Yeah. Good play by Phillips. Phillips was playing brilliant, actually.
So
I
you
saw
know that
Phillips
there was
starting off pretty good.
I mean, they were talking about dropping Sterling and bringing in Grealish. Was that a discussion or was it?
Grealish was warming up. I remember just before the half time. But I mean, Sterling. Look,
He
Foden
looked
playing.
lively.
Foden looked very
He looked
lively.
lively, didn't he?
Sterling again. He gets in the box. He makes the wrong decision in that first 20 minutes. I don't know if Cammy can confirm. He was in the box where he was deciding he'll try to take it on his right foot.
Yeah, I
rather
saw
than
that.
whack it
And then
across or take a shot.
You should have just smacked that
He's
one.
got to do one or the other. Yeah, but then to try and pull it back on his right foot is too many touches he wants, and a bit similar to Rashford as well. When he gets in that position, he just wants to take him on again and again and again. Rather than
So this is this the first England game in how many years where no Liverpool or Manchester United player has started the game? Is that?
is that?
Well,
well, as a poor decision, really. Shaw should have been starting.
Do you think so?
I think Shaw ahead of Trippier.
Oh, I think yeah.
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw's had
it's
an
not
awesome
because he's
season,
not a
hasn't
player.
he?
He's been awesome.
Yeah, he's had an awesome season,
he
and
has.
I think we did our.
Yeah,
lineup
I know.
and we put him in there, didn't we?
Yeah, we had Shaw in there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I know Image wrote it down on paper. I don't know. He put it on the group, but it's so small writing I can't read it. But yeah, he did that. But before we continue football, because obviously the French Open, Djokovic beat Nadal in the semi-final.
Yeah.
Which everyone thinks whoever wins out those two, and obviously Nadal. I think that's the third time he's lost in 108 matches.
Was it Roland Garros?
Yes.
And they play on clay.
Yes.
And Nadal is virtually untouchable on clay.
Yeah. He went 1-0 up.
And for Djokovic to get back and win that was an awesome feeling for him. And I think he's done extremely well.
He did. Like you said, Nadal, I think it's in 108 matches there or on clay on French Open. That's the third time he's lost a game or match, shall we say?
Which is some going, isn't it?
Yeah, and congratulations to the I'm never going to pronounce the name. I'm going to try it. Krejcikova, who won the women's single final 2-1, and she also won the doubles women's final.
Who did she beat in the singles final?
That name's even more harder to pronounce than hers. It's Pavlyuchenkova.
Okay.
I'm not sure, to be honest, how to pronounce that, and I apologise. Image is much better than that because he practices it before he comes over.
He gets it. Do you think he practices it at home?
Yeah, I think he does. But yeah, and she's won the doubles final as well. I believe that's a bit similar to hole in one. I suppose if you want to compare it, it's a very rare thing to win
No,
two.
not really. I
Two
don't think.
to win the doubles final and
No,
singles?
it's happened. I think.
How many times? I think you can't be more than 4 times.
Goran Ivanisevic, I think he won the final and he won the doubles. I'm not sure about
Did he?
Boris Becker. Image.
The same tournament. Same tournament. So like Wimbledon, whatever. He's won the doubles and the finals. I don't. Is it? I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised. I thought it was very rare. Very rare. Because I can't remember the last time to.
Salaam to Ishfaq Ali as well.
Yeah, Ishfaq says yes, we are well. Thank you, Ishfaq.
We're doing really well. How about yourself?
Yep. Please join the conversation and into the poll question: take a knee or not take a knee? But okay, look. Clearly, football Euro 2020. That's the conversation everyone wants to talk about. That's what we'll go on to. I know we normally wait to the second half.
Yeah, I think there's not much going on in the rest of the sports, is there?
No. So, but before we start, obviously the big talking point or the big event. No, sorry, event's the wrong word. The big. I don't know. Ericsson, basically, the big.
Wow. That
surprise or shock, shall we say, happened yesterday during the game.
We still don't know the information's not really come through that exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it live, and when he fell, it didn't look good, and it puts everything in perspective. You know, he's going out to just play a game, football. At the end of the day, it's like no different. I mean, obviously he's a professional footballer, etc., and I'm not trying to compare it, but like anybody else goes out to do what they do in the normal day, and then all of a sudden he just collapsed. And to see that, you're thinking, well, it's only a game. You know, the person's health.
Do you know what I thought about that was that, you know, these professional footballers, they are absolutely at the pinnacle of their fitness.
Yeah.
When they turn up for the game, you know, they are super athletes. Yeah. And you know, I think it's a heart attack, isn't it? He's had a cardiac arrest.
The cardiac arrest applied CPR, and I think they got the defibrillator out on the game. Again, that's another. I mean, questions arising now, and he's in good. They're saying he's stabilised, which is great, and I hope he recovers fully and eventually plays again if he can. But they were saying there was controversy. Obviously, the TVs have shown that live while he was getting treated, or should the camera went away,
didn't see that,
or should it be panned away? And obviously, Gary Lineker apologised and said that we don't have control over this. It was UEFA who had it. But again, that was just another point just raised, and I'm one of maybe they shouldn't have been showing.
Let's just hope he makes a recovery.
That's the most important thing.
Playing football again, that's something that obviously that's a long time away right now. I think his health is the most important thing, and
absolutely,
you know, especially when you're playing in any form of tournaments, and when you see a player or anybody go down the way he did, I think you know, you've got to look at it and think, look, you know, even professional footballers, athletes, you know, this heart attacks can happen any moment of the day. So, you know, we all wish him well.
Yeah, wish him well indeed. Out of that game, obviously, that it was postponed, and then I think it was 90 minutes later, the game, obviously, when they got the message from, I believe, directly from Ericsson and the hospital saying, look, lads, I'm okay, thank you very much for your concern. And then the players were asked in the dressing room, both in Denmark and Finland, do you want to continue?
There was a question about that, whether that decision should have been taken out of the hands of the players and maybe the officials.
I'll try.
Look, to play 90 minutes later.
If I was in that game, I don't think I would want to play that game.
Look, I remember watching Liverpool in the European Cup final in the Heysel Stadium against Juventus, and it got kicked off later, but the players were already aware of certain, you know, fans had already died. So, you know, do you play that game? You know, I don't think you should carry on playing now. I think, you know, they should have.
Especially even with the 90 minutes they've been sitting inside.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they've come out, and I think, I suppose, can I say congratulations to Finland for winning? No one expected them to win the game from the outset. They've got their win.
It's just,
it's
you
been
know what?
overseen by the whole thing.
I think that it just didn't feel right, did it?
No,
You know,
it just didn't. And even when they scored, the celebrations, he really, you know, he didn't celebrate. and the whole thing. That's why I thought really it would have been sensible to have postponed that game, played it later on, and with Ericsson obviously being fine and well, which is the most important thing. But it was a victory for England. They're well, I suppose with the way the groups are set out and the tournament set out, it's possible that they can get to the next round now. They only need, I suppose, technically a point from any of the other games.
Yeah, really.
And if they're going to be one of the best thirds in the table, and they can probably get through.
Progress. I think a victory in the next game. Well, we've still got this one to finish off, so it would be pretty good. But just going back, I think, if you talk about Italy had an awesome game, didn't they?
That was the opening game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Italy versus Turkey. Because let's be honest, Turkey are no pushovers, and was expected.
I was disappointed with Turkey.
Absolutely.
Really disappointed. I mean, technically, Turkey have been a pretty good side. I think they got into the semi-finals. What was it, or quarterfinals?
They've done pretty well.
Yeah, they've done 8 years ago or something. They played really well, but they were so negative. I just didn't see them trying to attack Italy, and what are they just trying to get a 0-0 result?
Well, they didn't even change after they went a goal down, though. They were 2 goals down. Yeah. It was like you say, maybe their plan was to get a 0-0 result, but surely that plan went out the window as soon as Italy scored. But there was no change. But again, Italy. I mean, was that? How many games now is it? They're saying
is it 28 games?
28 games, I think.
Yeah, 28 games.
Not conceded.
Yeah, I think it's 18 games not conceded. I'm not entirely sure.
All right, okay.
I think maybe Ishfaq Ali can correct me on that. But
there's a certain amount of games. 28 games they've undefeated, and a limited of games, be it 18-8 or whatever it is, they've not even conceded a goal. And we all know Italian teams, Italy team, they're strong defensively.
When they go a goal ahead, it's virtually impossible to score against them.
They've always been strong.
They've got, is it Cellini or Collini at the back? 34 years of age.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely having a fantastic tournament. Yeah, he is awesome in that game.
In that game, particularly, so that was a great game. Belgium, Russia.
Well, look, Lukaku scored a couple of goals in that game.
Yeah, I saw his first goal. I didn't see the second goal.
A couple of questions I've got for you, Sadat, is,
go on.
We're talking about who's going to be the top goal scorer in this tournament. One of my favourites is definitely Lukaku. I think, he's going to score goals.
I think, yes, because he's the main pivot for Belgium. The other big team, obviously, is France, but I think they score all over.
Yeah.
So I don't think
they've got
one
Benzema
player.
back as well, so they might be getting a few goals on that.
Yeah, we're coming up to a break. Obviously, we'll continue with the Euro 2020. England, I believe, is still 1-0 up. Obviously, keep us updated with what the score is, and we'll continue to go through the groups and the possible teams that England could play, I suppose, in the next round. Obviously, when they get through, I would say, rather than if, because they're my team, your team being France, obviously, if I remember.
Yeah, I think everybody's pick is France, apparently.
Yeah, it's too easy of a pick, but inshallah, we'll talk about further after our short break. Please join us to talk further about football. Thank you.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
हाँ बिलाल, मैं हमारी ग्रोसरी और हलाल मीट के लिए मुख्तलिफ स्टोर्स पर जाते जाते थक चुकी हूँ। पार्किंग हमेशा से एक मसला रहा है और मुझे आखिरी बार एक पार्किंग टिकट भी मिला है।
कितनी दफा बता चुका हूँ, 232 लिंकन रोड पीटरबरो पर पार्क फूड्स को ट्राई करो। ये कैम्ब्रिजशायर की सबसे बड़ी एथनिक सुपरमार्केट है और उनके पास 1 घंटे के लिए फ्री कस्टमर कार पार्क है।
वाओ, रियली? लेकिन क्या मैं वहाँ से सब कुछ खरीद सकती हूँ?
यस, fresh quality fruit, vegetables, dairy product, halal meat and poultry delivered every day. Really is a one-stop shop. Plus, Park Foods carry a huge range of brands from around the world and thousands of products in their daily use household range.
मैं अभी जाना चाहती हूँ। वो कब तक खुलते हैं?
Monday to Saturday, 8:30 to 8 p.m. and 11 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. और ये बहुत ही साफ और महफूज है और कोविड गाइडलाइंस को फॉलो किया जाता है। तो फिर चलें, शाजिया।
Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम किरण है। कोट कश्मीर ऑर्फन्स रिलीफ ट्रस्ट मेरा घर है। कोट सिर्फ मेरा ही नहीं बल्कि मुझ जैसे सैकड़ों यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों का घर है। हम तमाम बच्चे अपने इस प्यारे घर में हंसी खुशी रहते हैं और तालीम भी हासिल करते हैं। हमारी तमाम जरूरियात जिंदगी को कोट ही पूरा करता है और ये सब कुछ आपकी मदद से मुमकिन है। आपसे गुजारिश है कि अपने एहतियात, ज़कात और ज़कात कोर्ट में मौजूद यतीम बच्चों को देकर इनकी कफालत में हिस्सेदार बने। कोर्ट यूके ऑफिस 0300123774 court.org.uk।
ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله.
Ali is one of those children who, with your assistance, has the honour of being a Hafiz. And that too from only £29 per month. Help UKIM by sponsoring a Hafiz and get rewarded by up to 70 times blessings this Ramadan. For donations, call now or visit ukim.org.
Secure your property with H Secure Tech. App-based intruder alarm with panic alarm function, control and monitor from your phone anywhere in the world. Reduced false alarms, pet-friendly and get instant alerts. No monthly fees. Also fire protection, perimeter protection and CCTV integration. Call 01733 590 201 or email info@hsecuretech.com. Visit our website at hsecuretech.com. H Secure Tech, Peterborough's trusted supplier and installer of home security systems.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Bowel cancer screening saves lives. The NHS sends everyone aged 60 to 74 a free home testing kit every 2 years. Using this test is easy and hygienic. Ask your parents and grandparents whether they have completed their screening kit. Find out more by visiting Cambridgeshire and Peterborough ccg.nhs.uk and searching bowel cancer.
Find us on Facebook at Salaam Radio.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. تلك آيات الكتاب الحكيم هدى ورحمة للمحسنين الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to the second half of Salaam Sports. Okay, Arif, welcome back again, viewers. I'm going to continue with our poll with the knee or not to knee. The screenshot I was talking about actually was related to this. There's a comment by a Tory MP who compared taking the knee to a Nazi salute amid the ongoing row over whether England footballers should make the gesture at this European Championships. Okay, so in a controversial Facebook post, Brendan Clark Smith labelled the gesture habitual tokenism and said he was highly critical of the team's decision to show solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement against racism. Now, I know not all teams have decided to take the knee. England obviously came out and said they were going to take the knee. They did take the knee, I believe, before the game today. I believe there were also boos happening. I'm not sure.
In today's game as well.
In today's game as well. It did, there were cheers as well. But just tells us what's happening in our society, does it not? I mean, we've got people who still don't understand why people are doing this. And I don't think it's enough. Far from it. There's a lot more to do. But
what you end up realizing is the England team has an element of supporters which are far right.
Yep.
And that happens quite. A lot of the big tournaments that England have gone to, there's always been.
It represents society.
There's been trouble in. You don't find that as much when it comes to supporting your local teams. Your Manchester United, your Liverpools.
Yep.
That's not as big, but there's a hooliganism element of the England game, and that part of that is racist as well. So
we did obviously. Which game was it when they were taking the knee and the aeroplane flew over as well? It said, I think it was correct me if I'm wrong, it said white lives matter or all lives matter, etc. And there's obviously elements in our society that's basically racist.
Absolutely,
And I know Imi said, yes, there's prejudice in all of us. On this particular case, I want to concentrate obviously just on the racism. And the fact that an MP, or with all due respect, Prime Minister comes out and says things or does things or gestures things or writes in columns that Islamophobia and stuff like that doesn't help if it's from the top, because I think from the top it filters down to the bottom, very similar to, again, I don't want to get into like a political show, but in America with the top when the previous president, and then he felt that this was acceptable. Or
I don't think the Prime Minister should be getting involved in.
Well, I think he should be more positive.
Yeah.
Rather than
in sports, when it comes to this sort of, racism issue, I think he should be condoning it rather than.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we've covered this before. We've gone through it, and it's just so frustrating and annoying. We have to keep saying it, or we have to mention it. I think every event happens.
As our responsibility as hosts and co-hosts, we have to make that distinction heard. I think, and that's our responsibility.
Yeah, we can't ignore it because
we've faced it, we've seen it happen, and I think we have a responsibility to keep that, alive. Let people know it's continuously happening, and hopefully. Things may change one day, but it doesn't look like right now, does it?
No, it looks like from very far distance, maybe. Okay. Cammy is still watching us on Facebook, so if you can give us an update, Cammy, that would be great, or Ishfaq, or anybody else watching, obviously. The England, would it be over now? What time is it? 2 o'clock, kick-off, 2:45, 3? No, there's still probably
we've still got time. You've got another 10 minutes
15
left.
minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is it still 1-0 to England? I didn't even check at half-time, to be honest, to see what the score was while we were on break. I'm assuming it's still 1 to England. Let's say they win. Great victory. Next game against Scotland. But we touched about it just before the break. Are you happy with the selection? I know we did our selection. Trippier, I think we got most of it, except for Grealish we put in, didn't we?
Yeah, we put Grealish in
ahead of Sterling.
Instead of Sterling, didn't we?
I think so,
Sterling didn't have a great season, but then again, he scored
a goal,
Yeah, so Gareth Southgate's got that one right in bringing in Sterling and Grealish being rested.
Yep, Trippier ahead of Shaw. We've obviously mentioned I still would go with Shaw. I don't know if he's thinking, he's had too many games, maybe more than Trippier. I'm not sure. How far Trippier went in
think
Europe.
that one was a bit of a tough one, wasn't it? I think in terms of Luke Shaw, he's had an awesome season, and then you've got a European champion, a league winner in Trippier with Atletico Madrid as well. So I think he's gone for the experience in terms of winning, major trophies.
Stones means obviously we had Walker. I think we agreed with as well. Foden on the right, we agreed with.
And Foden's played pretty well in the first 20 minutes, didn't he?
Very much. He set the tone, I suppose, in England. That first shot hit the post. It was a bit similar to the first 20 minutes, like Cammy was saying, was just very much reminded me of the attitude. And I know you're not going to like this, but Alex Ferguson, when he got the team out United, it was the first 15, 20 minutes they expected to score a goal. They were going to get the goal and put the pressure on first 20, 30 minutes. England, I think if they got that goal in the first 20, 30 minutes, I think they would have got 2 or 3, to be honest.
I think they always say when you're playing football, the first 20 minutes are the crucial, because you've got a team who's going to always be on top, especially the home team. They're going to go for it. If you can ride that first 20 minutes out and start applying yourself. But England have scored in the second half, so it's brilliant.
So hopefully they win against. Is it the toughest team? The toughest team in the group? Obviously England being the USA are the top ranks in that group, as well as Croatia.
I think Croatia is probably the second toughest team in the group, isn't it? The Czech Republic have already lost to Scotland twice already in the playoffs already.
Okay.
So they're probably the weakest team out of the 4.
So Scotland, obviously, Next game for England, hoping they get the 3 points or 2 points. Is it 3 point or 2 point system? I think it's a 2 point system, isn't it? 2-1.
You're the host. You should know. You're asking me a question here that
Yeah, I asked the questions here. I don't give you the answers. You're supposed to come up with the answers.
You should know the answers as well.
So they get the points for this game for the victory. Scotland obviously pose a different threat. It's not just about the names on the sheet and the players. Obviously,
Is it still known as the Calcutta Cup?
Oh, is it?
I'm asking you the question here.
I can say yes or I can say no.
England, Scotland is normally known as the Calcutta Cup. I know in rugby it definitely is, and I'm sure in cricket. In football as well. But yeah, that's gonna bring up a different sort of challenge for England, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if they go with a similar sort of approach. Well, I would assume so. They've got to go still attacking, and that becomes hopefully we expect England to win. Rivalry or no rivalry.
Yeah.
England
have got the players.
Ishfaq Ali's come back with saying Phillips has had a good game. To be fair, the rest of them have been average. Okay, to be honest, I said it earlier. Phillips was playing brilliant. He was not brilliant.
Disappointing, really isn't it? When you've picked a side, you've had Phillips, who's really the debutant in.
I didn't think we didn't put Phillips in our team, did we? I think
Henderson?
No,
we didn't put Phillips in. Yeah, we didn't put Phillips in.
No, we didn't have Phillips in. No, he did. He started off pretty brightly with Foden. At the first 20 minutes, I don't know what happened after that, to be honest with you. But Phillips, yes, he looked very good, solid in that middle. Rice was with him as well.
I think they're missing cutting edge of Grealish in that team as well.
Yeah, I prefer Grealish. I think he's the closest thing England have had to Gascoigne since Gascoigne, and that sort of type of player. And I think he can make things happen. So I would prefer Grealish ahead of...
Gascoigne was renowned. He was playing for a very good football team, when he was playing in
Tottenham.
For England. Yeah, they were up there. They were up there. Aston Villa's not as well known as Tottenham, are they? And they probably were back in the day, but right now,
Grealish, they'll be. Well, I suppose they'll do well to hold on to Grealish, Aston Villa on that basis, anyway, because obviously we all know United have been interested in. I'm sure other big clubs. So-called big clubs.
I think United have been interested in everybody. Apart from
United is such a big club that every player gets linked to him.
If you look at it, Lukaku, do you think they should have let him go? I think
no.
He's absolutely been awesome this last season. He's won the league and
Solskjaer's come out and said he didn't want him to go, did he? But if a player wants to go, what can you do? He
but
wasn't getting treated very well.
Was it the player's decision? I don't think if United had wanted him, he would have stayed there. He's such an fantastic player. I think they've missed him.
We can only go with what the statements given out from the clubs, etc. So Solskjaer's clearly said, he wanted him to stay, didn't want him to go. They didn't really bring anybody to cover.
No, they didn't.
Because he went pretty late, didn't he, in the transfer window? But he's been great. He was great before he even came to United, and that's obviously why United purchased him. And then it was all about he didn't have much support up front. Where in Belgium, obviously, he's got, shall we say, more support, more attacking players around him as well, so it gives him more space as well. And on top of that, his first touch was being ridiculed by every single pundit, every player.
And I think nowadays the problem is you've got of course. I think nowadays you've got the punditry and the television shots that they show. It's microscopic. Checking out how the players are playing and performance.
Well, yeah, and it's like they're on display in these tournaments. These players, because it's from these tournaments. Normally, players get picked at clubs to say, he looks decent. Let's pick him." I think it was Czech Republic, wasn't it? Two players. Liverpool picked up a player, Berger.
Yeah.
From the Euros, and United picked up Pobolski, was it?
Pobolski,
yeah.
Karol Pobolski,
yeah. And they looked great when they played for Czech. But
Pobolski was still a good player for. I think he did okay. Yeah, he did a good job for you guys.
He did. He scored that one great goal in Euro with that little chip.
He did that little chip.
Yeah, it was great. 1-1.
1-1.
Oh my God. No, and we were talking about them getting the points and going through. Who scored Ishfaq? What's happening? Tell us.
Yeah, let us know, Ishfaq Ali, what the latest is, how it's going.
Told you we should have been watching. He's just joking.
Typical Ishfaq Ali, isn't he? Yeah.
Got to be funny jokes, Ishfaq. You can't just say something and say it's just joking. Not funny, no one's laughing. But yeah, so players are on display for stuff. So Lukaku,
you've seen some of the games so far. Who's impressed you? Because I tell you what, the Italians have definitely impressed me.
The Belgium,
I think the Italians have moved that ball so quickly, and they all look so comfortable on the ball. I think they're a dark horse for the.
So Italy, so obviously have just played Turkey, so their next game is going to be between Wales and Switzerland. So that's the two games they've got. Switzerland, not too bad of a team. I don't think, and to me, I would have said this at the start, but I don't think Wales or Switzerland will give Italy a easier game than Turkey did.
Yeah.
In that particular game,
yeah.
I think there'll be more of a struggle.
They're gonna. I mean, they're gonna have to go for it, really, aren't they?
Yeah, and. The Switzerland Wales, they drew 1-1. Was they in their game?
They drew 1-1. Yeah. And that felt like a Wales win, considering
it was late.
It was a late on goal, and Wales didn't play that well either. They didn't really create many chances, did they? And to get
their best player, look, James, who he actually took the sub,
James,
and he was
James
livid to come off. He was absolutely upset coming off, and rightly so. I thought he was their best player at the time.
Yeah.
Bale, I'm disappointed in. You look at these big players like, if it was a tournament, and I know obviously Argentina not in the Euros, but Messi, Ronaldo. If your team's not playing well, you expect those players to step up and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Bale didn't look well. He just didn't look
on and off, isn't he, Bale? And even at Tottenham, he was on and off. And
they were saying, isn't it, at Tottenham, he's saving himself for the Euros. He didn't want to injure himself, overdo it, or anything like that. But yeah, again, it was the first game. We'll see how it goes on. But I was disappointed in Bale. I expected more. Ramsey looked good.
But yeah, James, for me, I think he was as an attacking player. He's a force, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. He did well both. I think he had a decent cross with his left foot and with his right foot, which is very rare. So to have been both foot,
he's not really. He doesn't. He's not rated as highly as he should. Do you think? Or
I think there's potential there. I wouldn't get carried away. I think he's got a lot to learn. He is very much head down, run with the ball. I was going to say, Sterling is obviously a different level, but his final decision is very much like Sterling. He doesn't make the right final ball or decision making.
It's all about the final decision making.
Yeah, so he needs to learn.
He can be a fantastic player.
I think he can be.
He's got no final ball.
He's got the energy. He's an honest player. He just needs to probably some upper body strength as well, a bit, build that up. But I reckon he'll be probably Wales. If Wales were to get through to the next round, he'll probably be the most important player to
Wales.
To Wales, yeah.
Yeah, let's just hope Gareth Bale starts showing us why he's a captain and what.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other games going on today will be Austria versus North Macedonia, Ukraine. No idea. No idea.
Should we just carry on with the next team then?
And then it's Netherlands versus Ukraine. So that'll be a good game. Ukraine versus Netherlands. Yeah, Ukraine's no pushover.
No, they're not. But Ukraine I don't really fancy them.
No,
I don't really think they're gonna light the European Championships up. I think it should be a pretty good game, pretty easy game.
In that group, that'll be the best game out of that group. You expect that to be a tight game. Austria and North Macedonia, I suspect.
So
Ukraine
you'd expect both those teams to really
qualify.
Go through?
I would expect Netherlands and Ukraine to go through out of that group. I suppose I think that's a later kickoff, maybe at 8:00. Again, with the heat happening here at the moment, England. I don't know if it's affecting them, the heat, but it looked like it
was 28 degrees.
I was surprised they weren't having drink breaks.
Very, very hot day.
When they first started off the lockdown, they were having drink breaks, weren't they, after 15, 20 minutes? But I suppose you can't, because tournaments happening everywhere. It's not just in
No,
England,
I think they should have had a break, and they've had breaks previously in other tournaments where it's been very, very hot. They've had sort of 20 minutes into the game,
it's
break.
Like a little quick 2-3 minutes drinks break just to make sure they don't get dehydrated. We all know about England's group: Croatia, Czech Republic, Scotland. Okay, so what I was going to say, and I know Ishfaq was joking. So England wins this game. They win the Scotland game. They're looking to go through. Their group that they're going to clash with is the group of death: the France, Germany, Hungary, and Portugal.
They really need to try to finish second.
That's what I was going to ask. So come to the game, and they feel like if we lose our last game, we're through a second, and we then don't play any of those two top teams in that group. I think then we play either Poland, Slovakia, Spain, or Sweden.
Yeah.
Would you throw a game? Is that the right thing?
I don't think you should use that word throw a game, but you can be tactical, you know, and
rest all your main players. Let the
go
others
for
go.
a draw as opposed to going for a win. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, or throw caution to the wind. Let's get all the youngsters out there, any experienced players out there. If they win, so be it. If they lose, who cares?
Who cares? It doesn't.
Yeah, we'll play somebody like Poland instead. We'll see what happens. That'll be interesting. I think it'll be very critical. The press
you do want England to progress. What's your opinion? I mean, you've seen some football so far. You've seen the likes of obviously the Italian team. Who I thought they were excellent, and then you've seen Belgium, who expected them to be very good, and they have been very good. Yeah. Those two teams have lit up the European Championship so far.
Yep.
England, not so much, but then again, they've never been one of these teams that has, been fantastic and had flair.
Well, other than Euro '96, I think that's about last time. Well, obviously when they won the World Cup, but in my lifetime, I can remember where they were just absolutely brilliant in every game they were playing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the first 20 minutes. It was consistently again and again. And it was just unlucky. I think it was a Gascoigne miss in the Germany game.
Gascoigne miss in the Germany game.
If he'd scored that, he would have went to penalties. It would have been a different story.
So this time round, they don't. You know what? With all the youngsters in there, what we're saying is this is the best chance they've got to progress and to win the tournament. That's the mindset they've gone in there with.
Yeah, you've got to go. Yeah. Especially playing, I don't know if they're playing all their games home, but especially playing at Wembley. Look,
they are,
Foden is up there, he's a youngster, but you expect him to light up the tournament.
Foden's played extremely well
so
for
far.
Guardiola this year.
Sterling, he's been at tournaments before. Yeah. He knows what it is all about. Okay, you got.
I think where I'm a little bit concerned for England is in the centre of defence.
Yeah.
I think, teams with Mings in there, I don't think Mings is...
Here's a question, isn't it? We've taken Maguire, who's clearly injured and may not play any games of the group stage. Do you do that with players? And other countries have done that as well, I think, who have got players injured who won't play for the group stages. Mm. Is that correct? Or would you take a player who's fully fit? I mean, what's that saying about the players that are playing in the group stage and then dropped straight after?
He is England's best defender by far, So, and he's got the experience as well. He's a calmer player. I'd take him.
You take him? Was it Beckham who had the injury, or Rooney had injury, and England had taken him?
I think it was Rooney, wasn't it?
Rooney, you say we still take him because he's that good of a player. Attackingly, I can understand. I just think defensively it is a big gamble, because if your defensive player has got a slight injury,
it's a big gamble. But I'd still have him. I'd still have him in there rather than, I still think he'd do a better job than Mings, even half fit Maguire.
Mings looked all right, to be honest, again, the first 20, 30 minutes, but then again, Croatia weren't really testing England.
No, I think, it's going to get tougher.
Yes.
When you play the likes of France, you play the likes of Germany, Spain, who do hold the ball longer, you're going to have to defend a little bit more as well. He is more of an astute defender, I think, Maguire. He does take a lot of flack, and I think sometimes it's unjustified as well.
You remember
as
that.
a Liverpool fan saying
what's the date today? 13th of June, 15:51. Lena, can we make sure we recorded this clip so I can put it there? It takes too much undue flack. It'll stick. Look, the big, like we talked about, group France, Germany, Hungary, Portugal. The biggest game, and I think it's their first game, will be France versus Germany. Now that'll be the tournament's biggest game to date when that happens.
Is that Tuesday night? Is it?
I think it's Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday night. So. Obviously, I would assume you're back in France, because that's the team you're backing for the tournament.
I think you know what? I've taken a lot of stick for actually supporting France this time round, but Do you know what? I've done it in the past, gone for an underdog, and it's not worked out. This time I thought I'd go.
France is not an underdog, though, is it?
No, but I've gone for an underdog in previous tournaments, and they haven't done it. Right now, France, for me, especially with Benzema coming back into that team, it's their tournament to lose as far as I'm concerned.
They're saying, I can't remember which pundit it was saying, but they said that not only could France win it, France's B team was good enough to win this tournament.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've got some amazing footballers even. The squad of 26, I think all of them could probably get into their first team.
Well, yeah. I believe Pogba came out with a statement saying, look, we may have a team that's like FIFA. It's the perfect team, but we've got to go out there and do it.
He's 100% right. I think, they can't take anything for granted. They've got to go in there with the right mindset. And just because you think you've got the best team doesn't automatically give you the chance of winning these tournaments.
No.
I think,
No.
Generally, the opposition is going to be up against them. They're going to try harder.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... Is this going to be a bold set? The best team's not always won the tournament.
Most of the time, the best team doesn't win the tournament, does it?
No, I mean, France... Portugal, wasn't it, in the France-Portugal final, I believe. And Portugal won that without Ronaldo, who got injured in the first 10 minutes
or so. And Portugal are an outside bet for some teams.
Yeah.
And then you've got, is it Portugal, Germany, and...
Hungary.
Is it?
In that group, yeah. So Hungary are going to be the whipping boys, you would assume. But I think they'll be good enough to take some points off somebody.
Portuguese?
They might take...
I think Portuguese might end up second. I still think... the French will win that. Win that.
But even if, say France, I think whoever gets their first win, I mean, it's going to be important. And Portugal got a good chance because they're playing, saying the less strongest team, the more weakest team out of the group, Hungary. But the other games, if they draw, they're not going to get many points. So if you get that first victory, so imagine France, Germany, if they draw, Portugal gets a win, they're top of the table.
Yeah, it's going to make it tough.
And then they can play for a draw. And that's what Portugal love and never did in their Euros.
Absolutely.
Previous game, they played for the draw, hit them on the counter.
It's important they actually get the win.
Portugal.
Either the France or Germany, because it is a group of death. Anything's
you need
possible in that.
And start off
and look, let's not write Hungary off automatically. They can do the unexpected and beat one of the top teams, and
you say that, but
and it happened to Costa Rica, didn't it, in the World Cup? They got through to the stage. They beat the Germans, didn't they?
Talk about Euro. Was it Greece who won the Euro? Where we were just parking the bus and winning 1-0 all the time?
Well, yeah, Greece. When
knocked out England, didn't they? In the semi-finals, I think it was. And
the Greeks looked strong in that tournament. They had these, 6-foot guys, strong as anything, and didn't let anything get past them.
Well. And going back to the previous one, England obviously going to have to play France, Germany or Portugal. If it's not in the next round, if they do come second, eventually their path do clash before they get to the semi-finals, finals sort of thing. So they're big teams.
You've got to play the top teams, and you might as well start playing them early and get into that rhythm.
So what's, last 30 seconds, I'll do a one-word answer. What's England's which main player will take them to the final? Which is the most important player for England?
I still think it's Kane.
Yes.
I still think it's Kane.
I think he fires.
I think if he fires, absolutely, you hit it on the nail on the head. If he fires, then England have got a brilliant chance of progressing to the latter stages of the tournament.
Brilliant. Okay, inshallah, we'll join next week with more of the Euro 2020s. Take care of yourselves and speak to you all next week. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.